they're considered to be held in modern slavery.
The Maritime Union says the government inquiry is long overdue. It claims there are ongoing problems with the abuse and underpayment of overseas crews, and it's becoming an international embarrassment. Protesters upset over the importation of foreign trains voiced their anger at the port of Tauranga this morning. KiwiRail's decision to import cheaper Chinese-built flat-top wagons has resulted in the loss of around 40 jobs at its Dunedin Hillside train workshop. Protesters say sending the work offshore is hurting the country's recovery.
It's not good for the economy, and we need to keep the build in this country, and we need to get this country moving. And the only way we're going to do that is in the manufacturing sector. So if we're sending our work offshore, we're actually stifling our own economy, making things worse for New Zealanders.
KiwiRail says it'll need up to 4,000 new wagons over the next 10 years. The company says it'll save around $80 million by importing them from China. The chances of a significant earthquake shaking Christchurch again have decreased significantly. Figures from GNS Science show quieter seismic activity in the past few weeks means the risk of another substantial aftershock has dropped to just over 20%. While at a briefing today, recovery leaders say getting information to the worst affected residents is top priority.
We're also looking at trying to establish a hub close to them where they get information from their insurance companies, from EQC, from people building house packages and so on. So that work's proceeding as quickly as we can.
Earthquake Recovery Minister Jerry Brownlee says more information about which properties can be rebuilt should be released next week. Meanwhile, New Zealanders across the country are pitching in to let Cantabrians know they are still in their thoughts in the aftermath of the Christchurch quakes. Organisers are calling it the Big Chip In for Christchurch. Organisations and celebrities banding together to show their support and donate what they can.
We really want to show them that we're absolutely behind them, and we know that they're going through a really hard time, and we want to send them our love.
Christchurch, I think you seem to be doing fantastically, and bear in mind, I reckon the whole of the country has a huge amount of admiration and respect for the way you guys are handling things.
It's hoped the Big Chip In for Christchurch will help Cantabrians take their mind off the chaos all around them. The Pike River Royal Commission of Inquiry has wrapped up its first week with evidence the Pike River Company ruled out any alternatives to underground mining. Colin Dahl, who's responsible for granting mining resource consents in the region, was asked whether the company ever raised the possibility of open cast mining with the West Coast Regional Council.
An option for an open cast mine was basically ruled out from the onset, and my understanding that was basically because of economic viability and the impact of an open cast mine on the ecological values of the area.
The inquiry into the deaths of 29 miners last year will resume on Monday. The man who was the public face of the tragedy, Pike River's Peter Whittle, is due to give evidence on Tuesday. The stock exchange is facing questions from another watchdog about whether it's withholding bad news from investors. NZX Chief Executive Mark Weldon told an Australian court that a business the NZX bought is making an economic loss, although he said nothing publicly here for more than a month. The NZX is supposed to police continuous disclosure so that listed companies tell the public good or bad news promptly. The exchange boss has to play by the same rules for the exchange's own investments, and now the new Financial Markets Authority says it wants answers and expects them by next week. Top firefighters from around the world are in Wellington competing for the Australasian and world titles for best firefighting crew. Teams are tested with simulated car crashes. Their rescue techniques will be critiqued and they'll be judged on innovations that lead to better rescue outcomes. Among the teams competing, one from Spain.
I'm happy with the team, yeah, they work hard and the communication was very good, and they work like one person.
The winning crew will be announced on Sunday. Just ahead on 4:30, the FBI launches its investigation into the phone hacking scandal. The Ultimate Collector's Edition, an unfinished novel by Jane Austen, earns a massive price at auction. And Lady Gaga's bizarre appearance at a Down Under tribute to her most loyal fans.